Welcome to Unapologetic Radio. Before I start, I must give you my disclaimer. Please remember this channel is created for me to voice my own personal opinions and feelings on a variety of subject matters and to exercise my right to freedom of speech. Along this journey, I will share with you some of my own personal experiences. I am not racist, nor do I dislike any particular race, but I am and I will talk about race because race is a part of life. This show is not for kids. There will be a slight bit of profanity from time to time and topics that are not for them. Disrespect and negativity will not be tolerated. If you do not like my channel, just move on. If you do like my channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, and tell your family, friends, and Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Unapologetic Radio. So, the show is Why Do They Want to Bring Black Wall Street Back? I know I'm going to hear a lot of slack for this video, but again, this is my show, my world. If you don't like it, you click off the video. But I'm going to talk about why do they want to bring Black Wall Street back? Now, Black Wall Street, and I say streets with an S because there was not just one. Besides Tulsa, there was two others, which gave a total of 3 Black Wall Streets. But we only hear about Tulsa because of what happened in 1921. So I'm going to educate you on the other 2 Black Wall Streets. Black Wall Street stories is rich and they're very complex. They amplify strength, creativity, courage, progress, and possibility. With that being said, I want to start with the very first Black Wall Street, which was Durham, North Carolina. So I'm going to read to you my notes. Again, any information in this video you can find online. So please do your due diligence and go look for yourself, but it's out there. So let me tell you about Durham, North Carolina. Durham Black Wall Street started within a 4-block district on Parish Street, also known as Haiti. Although the term Black Wall Street did not become relevant until the late 50s, its identity as an economic powerhouse for blacks was apparent since the late 1800s. Durham was the first black community to become fully self-sufficient. It built Lincoln Hospital, staffed by black doctors and nurses, as well as a theater, a library, hotels, and over 200 businesses. During this period, when disenfranchising blacks and openly violating their rights was common, the black population of Durham were making strides in business that challenged the legacy of white supremacy. Black-owned businesses in Durham can be traced back to the efforts of 4 African American enterprisers, or entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs. John Merritt, Charles Spalding, James E. Shepard, Aaron McDuffie Moore. They provided the leadership and the initiative necessary for the beginnings of Black Wall Street. In Durham, Washington Duke, a white wealthy businessman, believed that economic progress should not be measured by skin color. The Duke family was actively involved in funding a number of entrepreneur businesses on Black Wall Street. Washington Duke was recorded saying, Durham, as a city, must be holistically judged for its economic merit. This means we mustn't let our colored neighbors fall into economic depression. Clashes between white and black communities throughout the South during this time period were particularly routine occurrences, but this was generally not the case in Durham. In a visit to Durham, Booker T. Washington said, of all the southern states I have visited, I have found here the sanest attitude of white people towards blacks. The black business district thrived, mainly because residents fed their purchasing dollars back into the local economy while earning their income from white employers. Tulsa, also known as Little Africa, was named Greenwood and formally organized in 1901, the year after Booker T. Washington's visit. By 1921, it was home to about 10,000 black residents that was establishing a black-centric community where black men and women were shielded from racial hostilities. For example, in 1909, JB was walking along Greenwood Ave when a white delivery man uttered a racial slur, prompting JB to throw the man to the ground, straddle him, and punch him in the face until it was bloody. JB was criminally charged for the beating, but was acquitted. Jackson Ward, Richmond, Virginia. In the shadows of Virginia capital lies Richmond's neighborhood called Jackson Ward. Before black people moved to Oklahoma in masses, newly freed slaves began occupying the area on the northern edge of Richmond's downtown district. Soon, so many businesses emerged in the prominent black community, they began calling it the birthplace of black capitalism, or Harlem, the Harlem of the South. Because the area was home to so many black-owned banks, insurance companies, and other investment groups. In the early part of the 20th century, Jackson Ward business and entertainment district was mainly called the Harlem of the South, hosting names such as Ella Fitzgerald, Duke Ellington, and Richmond's own Bill Bojangles Robinson. In 1910, the St. Luke Penny Savings Bank opened in Jackson Ward. Its owner was Maggie L. Walker, the first black woman to found a bank in the U.S. So let's fast forward to 2021. Just recently, we had talent by the name of Jess Hilarious put this post up about her asking her friend how to start a business. And she went into detail to say that every time she asked her friend a question, her friend said, "Oh, it's really hard. Oh, you got to put in a lot of hours." And she kept saying that that's really wasn't what she was asking. She understands that part. She wants to know, how do you do it? So I believe she was more so looking for, okay, first you got to pick your name, then scout your name, make sure nobody has your name, then legalize your name, then find out the entity that you want to open, whether you want an LLC or a corporation. I believe she was looking for that type of insight when she asked that question because it was so platonic. But Derek J., who is another personality, he actually did a rebuttal to that. And he said, look, people ask all the time, how do you do things? He was like, and when you tell them, they just pretty much just marinate with the information and really don't do anything. People don't realize that the people, when you ask the person the question, they are giving you a piece of them that they might have stayed up all night studying or went to school and paid for, and they retain this information that way. And you're asking about it and you want us to give it to you, but it's no use of giving it to you if you don't do anything with it. So I kind of see both sides of it, but in the same token, this is the type of situations that we are dealing with. We can't even give each other honest advice. We can't walk you through the steps. Well, Black Wall Streets are about businesses and creating and building, and you have to teach each other. And I don't think we've gotten that concept right now. Another situation I'll draw your attention to really quickly, and that is the Michael B. Jordan. He had to rename his rum Javere because his own people, meaning black people, had a problem with him using that name because it symbolizes a fest for the emancipated slaves. And they have been celebrating all this time. So they actually had a problem with a celebrity using that name. They should have been happy that he drew attention to that name, because without him, I wouldn't have known that that was something that exists. So he actually did them a favor, but we're so busy on mine, that they just wanted their name and he couldn't use it because they had already used it, not realizing that they could capitalize off of it and actually build. This celebrity is using it, they can incorporate it into their fest. Um, it's so many things that they could have done with that. Instead, they didn't want him to use it. So he changed the name. Sweet. That was really nice of him. I don't know if I would have been that easy going with it because you tearing us down. We tear each other down, and that's the biggest problem. So I don't understand how Black Wall Street is going to exist. So what I feel is we need to take baby steps. Let's work on increasing that 8.5% Black population that's over there in the Buckingham Palace. Or let's work on getting Black people higher paying jobs so that they can invest in Black Wall Street. Let's do those things. Or better yet, get them at higher paying jobs and teach them how to invest. Because the average person investment is on minute things. I mean, Black Wall Street, like I said, that's a big project. That's a lot. So teach them the skills that they need to do that. But I don't think open up Black Wall Street and taking the businesses that we have and putting them there immediately is something that we need to do, because a lot of our Black businesses need to be revised on a lot of things that they do. So it's a lot, but I think jumping in so quickly need to just we should just wait just a little while longer. Um, let's ask our celebrities. It's 52 states. Let's ask the celebrities, 52 celebrities, to donate, give away $5 million to each state. Let's do that. Let's ask the celebrities to build Black Wall Street, because they the ones with the money just really sitting there just playing around. Come on, they spend $50,000 on a car. I'm sorry, not 50,000, 50 million on a car, one car. They have 7 houses. You can only live in one. Ask these celebrities to donate these houses. How about that? Like, let's start with those steps first. Let's start with what we already have in our community and let's change that around, because we are already rich. We just got to redirect what we do with our money and how we spend it. But let's reach out to the celebrities. Let's ask them. I mean, they're sitting on 1 billion acres and it's only one of them. No family, but you got 1 billion acres. Let's ask them to build up more apartments for these celebrities. Let's ask them to create jobs for these. I mean, not for the celebrities, but for the people. Let's ask them to create jobs. Things like that. Let's start with what we have before we jump into Black Wall Street. We need to redirect and retrain the people now and the people that we have available at this second than to worry about a future project like Black Wall Street. I'm not saying that it can't be done. I'm not saying that it won't be done. I'm just simply saying that we already are rich. We have to learn how to redirect and re-spend our money and reinvesting our money and understanding the ups and downs of investments. Not being when you get burnt, not putting that taste in everyone else's mouth that do believe in investments. We need to learn things like that before we, move on to Black Wall Street. But that is all for me. I enjoyed our conversation, this show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. If you want to email me about any topics, please feel free to email me at unapologeticradioinfo@gmail.com. I'll repeat that, unapologeticradioinfo@gmail.com. Until next time, be blessed, and remember, don't come for me.